What's his name?
We need the countdown.
His name is Darth Malgus.
Darth Malgus.
All
right, guys. Welcome to the second podcast for 16bitaudit.com. This week's a little bit different because nothing really incredibly exciting has happened, so we're going to talk about kind of everything. First thing I'd like to talk about today, though, is Max Payne. Big release from last week. Scott, you played it a bit. What did you think about it?
I thought it was, to be honest, I thought it was a little bit of a copy-pasted Rockstar experience. I mean, I've played the other games, Grand Theft Auto, Red Dead Redemption. The thing I liked about Red Dead Redemption is it was so much different. You didn't really feel like it was competing with Grand Theft Auto in a sense, but you know, Max Payne is almost in the same type of setting, and it just really feels like Grand Theft Auto, but like trying to be something different. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. To be honest with you guys, I was really pretty disappointed in the game, other than the fact that through the course of the campaign, you're going to kill, I don't know, probably 2,000 to 5,000 bad guys, depending on the difficulty you're on. This is a lot more like Die Hard, John McClane, just blowing shit up every chance he gets, killing like 50 enemies. Like, he pretty much kills the entire city of Sao Paulo, Brazil in this game. It is that ridiculous. And like, I get a good action experience where you're running, you're gunning, you're using your bullet time, but guys, this is Max Payne. That's not what it's about. This is really about the inner demons of Max. And in Max Payne 3, they try and sugarcoat it and seem like you deal with it, but you don't, and that's kind of unfortunate. You got anything to add, Chris?
Other than the fact that I didn't pick it up, and that's about it. I mean, with Ghost Recon coming out next week, get it? Yeah. There was really no reason for me to spend any money on anything else.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, I dropped the $60, man. I've already traded it in. I beat the campaign. Put about 5 hours into the multiplayer, which also is pretty mediocre. Guys, I'll have the review up on Monday night for sure, but at this point, it's a rent. You can beat it in 10 to 12 hours. I wouldn't waste the $60 for the entry fee.
And this is coming from people who spend a lot of time with games. I mean, we've checked out IGN, I checked out G4 and other sites. They've been giving it top ratings. I saw 5 out of 5s, 10 out of 10s, and just listening to these guys complain for about, 15 minutes with the multiplayer.
Well, like, it didn't really do anything significant. I mean, if you compare it to other games like Mass Effect, Uncharted, stuff like that, I mean, they're different types of games, but they're still third-person shooters. Like, they're third-person cover-based shooters. I mean, even Gears of War. It just didn't do anything different. Even hopping in and out of cover wasn't very easy, and it was just not smooth at all. And
yeah, it was very clunky.
Yeah, I mean, especially when you're considering other games to where you just like are almost like sucked into the cover and it kind of knows where you want to go. I had to like go literally stand up against a wall and then mash the button hoping it would, you know, put him on the wall.
And then too, did you notice too, when it releases you from cover, you automatically back up like 2 steps so you're in line of fire? Like, guys, just, I don't know. Everybody seems to be giving it 9s and 10s. Don't get me wrong, the production values are through the roof.
Oh, yeah.
It plays almost like a semi-sequence interactive movie because you're going to watch as many cutscenes for the same amount of time as you're going to play the game. So in that sense, I mean, it's a fun experience. It's just not a Max Payne experience. And there's not enough here for me to give it anything more than, definitely not, I don't think it's 8 range even, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it didn't do anything significant. It took a lot of stuff a lot of other games had, including bullet time. I mean, if you're going to do bullet time, I know they're one of the people who did it well, but it's like, just throw something extra in there. I mean, you can't just keep rehashing the same thing over and over, Pokemon, and releasing it, unless you're a company like maybe Nintendo. But, yeah, it's just, give us something new. Give us something to look forward to. And, you know, like, for example, the Call of Duty Nazi Zombies. I know they have the same formula, but they keep adding something new, like, virtually every single time. Like, you know, it's the same experience. It's still Call of Duty Nazi Zombies, but it feels fresh. And I just didn't get that feeling with this game. I didn't feel anything fresh with it.
Heard that, brother.
Something I wanted to touch on real quick. People, if you're going to make cover-based shooters, make the cover system work. I'm trying to play through Mass Effect 1 for the sake of having these guys stop writing
Don't
me.
you say a damn bad word about Mass Effect 1.
Okay, I won't say anything about the story, okay? I mean, the
Problem is, guys, he started with number 3. So
yeah, also to say that the game came out like 5 or 6 years ago.
Yeah.
So we've progressed in our third. Realistically, if you look at the staple of how a third-person cover-based shooter is supposed to be, it's Gears of War.
Exactly.
The first Gears of War changed everything.
Yeah,
because you can drop in and drop out of cover with ease.
Yeah,
I will say one good game that I really liked the cover system, and it was more of a first-person shooter, but I really liked the cover system in Rainbow Six Vegas too. How like when they did the third person and whatever, that seemed to work really well.
Yeah.
And again, another first-person shooter totally here, but I really actually did like the cover-based system in like Killzone 2 as well. I thought that worked very well.
I just think that if you're going to make cover systems, make them work, or at least designate a button like in Gears of War, instead of just making it an automatic, because at that point, collision detection becomes a big problem. You start bouncing in and out of walls while you're getting shot at, and I end up dead on the floor within 5 minutes.
And I had, to be honest with you guys, I had a lot of frustration with the damn cover mechanics in Max Payne.
Yeah.
So now that we've talked about Max Payne, we've got 2 very big games coming out next week. I know all 3 of us are very excited for them. We've got Ghost Recon Future Soldier, which if you haven't checked out the live-action alpha video, you can do that on 16bitauto.com. It is full of badassery. Also, Dragon's Dogma, which may be... Well, I know it's one of Scott's most anticipated games of the year. I'm stoked for it. I mean, let's be honest. There's nothing like flying through the air attached to a griffin's head and stabbing the shit out of it.
Oh, no, that's great. I've played that demo so many times, it's not even funny. I mean, it's just fantastic. It's almost like they took Shadow of the Colossus boss fights, mixed it with, like, a huge open world game like Bethesda makes, Skyrim, for example. And, just the enemies are just so vast and differentiated. There's always something new. And you don't feel like you're killing mobs and mobs and mobs. Well, at least, from the demo. I don't know the actual game.
Dynasty Warriors.
From what I've seen, it doesn't seem like you're just killing mobs and mobs of the same thing. And, again, like with Skyrim's dragons, how they would randomly appear. As far as I know, this game is going to have... like randomly appearing encounters like that. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, everything, again, basing this off the demo, because we don't get early access to stuff, but
not yet.
Not yet. Soon, people. Just the way the griffin moved, I mean, it felt like it was a griffin. Like,
it felt tangible.
Yeah, the way the other enemy in the other demo, I can't remember what it's called. It starts with a C, I think.
Oh, the mix of this.
I don't know, but it was like a lion body mixed with a goat coming out its back and.
Chimera?
Yeah, that is it.
Chimera. Outside help. But yeah, the Chimera even, it was a lion with a goat coming out its back and a snake tail, and everything moved like you would expect those specific animals to move.
And you also had to kill them individually.
Yeah, that was cool. It's not just like an overall, you gotta kill the whole thing and then they all die. No, you could actually just go up and like stab the crap out of the snake head and it'll like chop it off. I mean, it's pretty cool.
I think we've all also played the Ghost Recon beta here. I'm very excited. They've changed a lot of stuff. The cover mechanics in this for a third-person shooter are actually phenomenal. Yeah. They now have a toggle button where when you go out of cover to hit A, you actually run to the point that you're looking at instead of having to, try and swerve here and there. It'll take you right there if you can continue to hit the directional button in the button. So, I mean, that's really cool. It's about time we got something else new coming out because, to be honest with you, the update ruined Battlefield 3. I haven't played Call of Duty in months, and Mass Effect. Man,
as good as it is, you can only play so much.
Yeah.
We've been juggling Minecraft and Mass Effect 3.
Yeah, it's time for something new.
But yeah, with Ghost Recon, like, the best way to describe how you move with that cover system, like from cover to cover, is if you ever played Splinter Cell Conviction, you see like a shadow of where you used to be. You kind of see that shadow of where you're wanting to go. So it kind of shows you, I'll compare it to Star Wars The Old Republic, if any of you out there have played it. cover-based people, it'll like show you where you're going into cover or where you want to go into cover, and then you just hold the A button down and then you just like run there, and so you always know where you're going to be, so you can kind of plan your next move as you're moving, and you can adjust your camera view. You can actually like turn it a lot more than you would think to adjust your camera view, so like, okay, I'm hitting this and now I'm going to try and swerve off and hit this. And one other big thing that I really liked in the demo was the ability to roll to the side when you're laying down. That was huge for me. Like, because you feel like when you're laying down, you're extremely immobile in most games. And in this one, you could actually, as you're sitting there shooting a guy, if you start drawing heat, at least you can roll around to the side a little bit instead of just being a sitting duck.
Roll the prone. Yeah, that's very nice.
I just think it's nice we're seeing a new shooter coming out that's not Call of Duty, that's not Gears of War, that's just not rehashed versions.
But that actually looks top notch.
Exactly.
What's it been? 5
I'd
years?
go Advanced Warfighter 2, I think, or am I thinking
It's been
something
forever.
else? Yeah.
Since, to be honest with you, the Tom Clancy games for a while there were popping out year after year, or year after every other year.
I remember the Ace Combats used to be lickety split right after the other.
Now they're slowing down. Hopefully that's indicative of more time in development, more quality.
I think more games should take their times to develop their games. Like, even if you can pop out a new game in 2 years and it'll be good, why not take 3 years, make it great? Why not take 4 years, make it insanely awesome?
Amazeballs.
With an exception, like Duke Nukem, where they took 12, 13 years.
We won't even get into that one.
Yeah.
I
Sucks balls.
even for someone who spent dropped the whole 100 for the balls of steel. I'm just happy Gearbox has this now, and that 3D Realms is out of the picture, and because the finished product is just basically they took what was there, finished it off, and then shipped it. In my opinion, that's a good move because now they can stop making it toxic, and you can actually see progression made.
They paid for the IP, namely, is what I'm seeing from this. That way, they can go places with it in the future.
Yeah. Question for both of you guys though is, by the way, if you want the Balls of Steel edition, it's now only $20 at your local GameStop.
I wonder how that is.
If you want to play a very crappy game but boost your achievement score, that's a good choice.
Yeah, but to be honest with you, they pissed so many fans off. We've got people here who've been lifelong Duke Nukem fans, and you're right, it's toxic. They don't want to touch it anymore.
Yeah.
Do you think Gearbox can bring this thing back from development hell, which was what it was sitting in for 10 years, and actually put out a product that's going to, reignite the fan base?
If you look at Borderlands, which if you have not played Borderlands, go pick it up. It's 20 or 30 for Game of the Year.
Doesn't matter. Buy it.
Yeah.
If you haven't played Borderlands, pull your head out of your ass.
But if you look at the work they did with Borderlands, that is a phenomenal first-person shooter with RPG elements. And I'll be honest, when I first heard Gearbox was taking it over, I thought that's what they were going to try and implement, but obviously...
I was hoping it was going to be more Gearboxy and less 3D Realmsy.
Yeah.
But then I was hoping they were going to overhaul certain parts of it, but that didn't seem to happen.
Well, in all fairness, I really can't see Duke Nukem being anything more than a rehash of the 80s and early 90s Macho Man.
That's exactly what he is.
So,
my big question, I guess, to those guys is it's like, did Gearbox really do something that was unfair to the fans here, saying, we know you guys are going to buy this because you've been waiting this long. We know this game's garbage.
Good question, but I'm going to go with no, because they saved this project, however you want to look at it. The company was going to shut down. They were looking at bankruptcy. They were just going to have the whole project wiped off the face of the earth. Gearbox actually took this, saved it, put a bunch of marketing behind it so people knew it was still alive, and then released the game. So, it wasn't critically acclaimed, but at least the fans got the game they were waiting for.
So in the sense of fan service.
This is, by the way, die-hard fans only. Like I said, I dropped the 100 for the Epic Edition for it, and I was pleased by the product I had. But in the same sense, they did save that because now they ended forever, and actually rumors have been that they're going to do a total prequel for Duke Begins. So... yeah, I think they saved it. If they use the mechanics that they're good with from Borderlands, and they're going Borderlands 2, they can actually make Duke Nukem, they can breathe new life into it. Yeah. They can save it, but it's just a matter of not alienate the fans, but try to make it new.
Yeah.
Because if they just put out another Duke Nukem against everything that's been coming out recently, it's gonna fail.
Put it this way, I think if there's any company that can save Duke Nukem, it is for sure Gearbox.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they have proven, specifically with Borderlands, that they know how to make a game that people want to play. So,
okay, guys. Well, that's about it for the second podcast for the week of May 20th. 16bitaudit.com. We want you to visit the site, so please do so. And have a good night and good luck.
See you later.